Good afternoon. Hasn't this been a very, very crazy week? Well, I figured that since in our classroom we were going to be celebrating St. Patrick's Day, and I was going to introduce to you, oh, here comes Milo. Hi, Milo. I was going to introduce to you our little leprechaun friend, and his name is Roy G. Biff. So, I figured what better thing to do is have a little read along today. Went to school and got my books. I was allowed to go in and get our books so we could work from home. So I figured, hey, I can be home and I can still talk to my friends and relatives, and we can just do some little stuff that we were supposed to do. So this book is called The Leprechaun Who Lost His Rainbow. And this book is by Sean Callahan. He wrote the book. He did all the words and wrote the story. The illustrator is Nancy Coates, and we discussed illustrating means drawing all the pictures, right? So let's read this little story and see what it's about. Look at the front of this book. It has a girl, and there he is, Roy G. Biv, our leprechaun friend. Now, when we talk about books at school, we know that this is the cover, front and back, and this is the spine that holds all the pictures together. And we ask, so please, 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 take good care of your books. The Leprechaun Who Lost His Rainbow. Look at the little doggy. He's looking at all the little shamrocks. Hopefully you can see the pictures. I'll show them to you when I finish reading, just so you can see them too. In the soft drizzle that was falling on St. Patrick's Day, Colleen wished her grandfather good luck. He gave her a piece of red licorice, her favorite candy, and then he was off to the parade to play the bagpipes. Look at that. Everybody's lined up. They're going to get ready to see the parade. And this is a bagpipe. Can you see that? Bagpipes are a really cool instrument that they blow in and they squeeze, and they make some really neat sounds. Her grandfather had told Colleen that the notes he and his bandmates played were like colors on the air. Colors only your ears could see. My ears? Do they see? Do my ears see? That's kind of silly. My ears hear. My eyes see, but Grandpa was being silly. He was saying that music is so beautiful that only your ears appreciate it. That's a real good word to use, appreciate. That means I really enjoy that. Playing music is like building a rainbow, he said. A little man I once knew taught me that. There's the pictures. There's her candy, the red licorice. Her mom and dad were going to watch the parade from the window, but Colleen sat on the porch under her yellow umbrella. What if it rained so much that everyone went home and no one heard her grandfather's bagpipes? That would be a shame. His music was so beautiful and so sad, it made people smile and cry at the same time. Can you? Pretty sometimes if you listen to a song that you really like, you dance and then you sing it. To pass the time, she played a song on her green Pennywhistle, which had a tiny shamrock printed on it. Her grandfather had brought it all the way from Ireland. It was her favorite thing in all the world, and she never, never let anybody touch it. There's her whistle. See that? She's playing a tune. When she finished the tune, she took a bite of her licorice. Just then, poof! A little man appeared on the top step. It was a leprechaun. I like your Pennywhistle, the little man said. You play very well. Colleen started to say thank you when suddenly the leprechaun jumped into the air and took the licorice stick right out of her mouth. He dropped it into his hat. "Thank you," he said. "I'll be needing that. Or my name's not Roy G. Biv. It's just the shade of red I'm looking for." There he is. Here he is coming out on the stair. And there he is. He took her red licorice. Colleen was shocked. "What are you doing?" she shouted. "Give me my candy." The leprechaun frowned. "Your grandfather was much more helpful." "You know my grandfather?" Colleen asked. "Yes, we created a rainbow together back when he was a boy," Mr. Biv explained. Colleen was puzzled. Puzzled means, she didn't quite understand. She was a little, I gotta figure this out. Could this be the little man her grandfather talked about? Mr. Biv looked glum. "I've lost my rainbow again, and my gold is at the end of it. To be a leprechaun in good standing, I must have gold, so I need someone's help to build a rainbow," he paused. "And that someone is you." Colleen frowned. Leprechauns were tricky. Everyone knew that. Could Mr. Biv be telling the truth? "Spin round. Let me show you something," the leprechaun said. "Spin round with that hat and watch what happens." She twirled around holding the hat, and suddenly, whoosh, a beautiful streak of bright red, just the color of her licorice, sprang out of the hat, hung in the air for a moment, and then disappeared. Colleen was amazed. "Look at that red coming out of the hat. I wonder what is going to happen with this hat. I think there might be some more colors coming out of that hat." "See," Mr. Bibb said, "we're starting to make a rainbow. And if there's a rainbow, the sun will come out to shine on the parade." Colleen took a deep breath. What do we do? What do we do? "For every color, I need something that belongs to you. Something red, something orange, something yellow, something green, something blue, indigo, and violet." Colleen looked around. There was her new orange basketball. She hated to give it up, but she tossed it to Mr. Bibb's hat. Immediately, whoosh, an orange streak came out of the hat. Look at that. She gave him her yellow umbrella. The yellow curved under the orange. When her blue ribbons went in, a beautiful blue appeared. Whoosh, out of the hat. Next to go was her indigo headband. Indigo is kind of like a really cool bluish purple color. Isn't that neat? And poof, out of the hat that came. And finally, her favorite violet scarf. Look at that. That came out of the hat too. Boy, that's so magical. Now there was a rainbow of colors coming out of the hat, just pouring out of that hat. But something was wrong. Right between the yellow and blue, there was an empty space. What do you think is missing? What color do you think is missing? Colleen knew which color was missing. She looked. What color do you think is missing? Yes, we need green, Mr. Bibb said. And not just any green, Colleen. It was a very hard color to find, which is why rainbows are so rare. It was raining harder and the parade goers were starting to leave. Colleen was so nervous that everyone was going to leave. What would the leprechaun want to make the green color? Can you think of what she has that's green? We talked about it at the beginning of this book. Think about it. Oh, here comes Pickles. Pickles wants to see. You're going to have to make one more sacrifice, lass, Mr. Bibb said. I'm going to need your Pennywhistle with a shamrock on it. That green is the last perfect color I need for my rainbow. Colleen started to cry. No, she said, clutching her precious Pennywhistle. My grandfather gave it to me. But Colleen, dear, if you give me the Pennywhistle, you and I can make the sunshine on this parade and on your grandfather too. Colleen held the penny whistle to her lips and blew one last note. She paused and then dropped the penny whistle into the leprechaun's hat. Here it goes. See, everybody's at the parade, and it's starting to rain very hard. Here she is. She's going to put it in the hat. Can you see that? In a flash, the rain stopped, the sun burst through the clouds, and a rainbow, complete with the most beautiful shade of green ever, spread across the sky. Look at, there's the colors. Roy G. Biv. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. That's what Roy G. Biv stands for. Those are all the colors in the rainbow. The parade goers gazed up in wonder, and Colleen's grandfather began to play the bagpipes. The music was so beautiful and sad that people smiled and cried all at once. There they all are. They're there at the parade. Nobody noticed that a pot of gold had appeared at the end of the rainbow, right on Colleen's front lawn. Roy G. Biv dug his hand into the pot of gold and pulled out a flute that looked just like Colleen's penny whistle. But this wasn't a toy flute. It was a real one, made of silver. And there was a shamrock on it that looked like Colleen's. Only this one was made of beautiful jewels called emeralds. Emeralds are green. They're beautiful jewels. "Thanks for sharing with me," Mr. Biv said, and he handed Colleen the flute. And with that, he and his pot of gold were gone. Colleen's grandfather stood in front of her. "Who was that you were talking with?" he asked. "Well, by Roy G. Biv," she said. "He's a leprechaun." "I thought I recognized him," her grandfather said. "He gave me this beautiful flute, Grandpa." "Ah, 'tis a nice one, silver, just like my bagpipes. What do you say we play a tune?" So together they played "When Irish Eyes Are Smiling." The colors danced in the air. Now, have you ever seen a rainbow in the sky after a storm? Rainbows are rare and beautiful things in nature. They have always fascinated people. The rainbow appears in the sky after it rains or while it's raining and the sun is shining through. The rainbows appear when sunlight passes through the tiny little drops of water in the air. Rainbows also appear in the same reason in soap bubbles. If you ever put some soap bubbles up, you might see a rainbow color. Do that in your tub tonight. Look for rainbows in your tub. And the sprinklers in your lawn. It's getting warm now. It's nice and warm here in Georgia. It's going to get warm. Tomorrow's the first day of spring. And when you go outside and play in the sprinkler, look for rainbows when the sun shines through the water. When light passes through the water, this is the good word for today. Today is refracted. Everybody say refracted. Yep, that's a good vocabulary word. Refracted means it is broken down into the basic colors. Roy G. Biv colors. The 7 basic colors always appear in that same order on that rainbow. The red, the orange, the yellow, the green, the blue, the indigo, and violet. To help people remember the colors in the right order, a name was invented using the initial colors, Roy G. Biv. And that's why I named our leprechaun Mr. Roy G. Biv. So in school, when we're doing our beautiful rainbows, we can remember the colors and the way they went. Now, these days, however, some scientists say that only 6 colors are in the rainbow because indigo is now thought to be just another shade of blue. Roy G. Biv, it just doesn't have the magical ring that a rainbow deserves, does it? They meant Roy G. BV without the I, the indigo. So this is our really cute little story for today. I want to wish you a happy St. Patrick's Day. And you know what? Maybe if you need something to do later, ask Mom and Dad, get some paper, and draw me a beautiful rainbow, and ask Mom and Dad to take a picture and post it. so that way I can see the beautiful rainbows that you guys made. I'm going to say goodbye this afternoon. And if you guys like this, I'll do another story tomorrow. Or if you have any questions, we can talk about this story. Okay? Have a great day. And I love you and I miss you. Bye.